Guys, here we go. So, looking up here, I know some of you don't necessarily know me or know Miss Gavin. Well, you know me well enough, maybe not Miss Gavin, but doing your best to just kind of take a guess.
Miss Gavin would be like.
So just describe how you think Miss Gavin would act if she spilled your coffee, and how I would if I spilled mine. So, Haley.
Miss Gavin would like.
So she would.
She'll laugh.
She'll laugh about it and kind of make fun of herself.
Hold on. Is Miss Gavin that one lady?
The white lady next door. Yes, it's hard.
Is that lady?
Yes.
Oh, did I?
Right there, sir.
Oh, she was. Oh my God.
The one that was talking about how that.
She's right there.
Oh yeah.
Slow life.
So, Haley says that Miss Gavin
She
would
would
laugh at herself and just kind of clean it up.
No, she told me.
You used it.
So, what would you say then I would do?
Be serious about it and clean it up.
So just be like, oh, that sucks, and handle it.
You?
Okay. Cuss.
So big.
You?
Yeah, you'll probably
We'll be freaking out. You'd be like, oh my gosh, my paperwork got all soiled. You would go, well, 10% should have got it, Mr. Klein.
Okay, here's my question to you all. Sarah has labeled me as OCD. How many of you guys think
Are you OCD?
Use OCD, hopefully this room look way better than it does.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, when it comes to like spilling things, you're OCD.
Sarah, when's the last time I spilled something?
I don't know you.
Then why do you
Like, I just want things clean and in order, which is clearly
Oh, she has OLD.
Oh, it's not.
Loud disorder. There's even something
obsessive
that's
loudness disorder. Is that what you said?
Yes.
I think it should be ELD,
What's
excessive loudness.
Obsessed with y'all ELD.
Oh, I said even my loud voice yet.
Yeah, please don't show me your loud
You
voice.
should- If I'm outside, I'll show you my loud voice. If we see each
You'll
other,
be
Sarah
Sarah
from-
You're
Yeah.
Sarah from 3 miles away.
All right.
I'm not telling you really can't.
Generally speaking,
I know.
would we say that my reaction and Miss Gavin's reaction would be very different?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all are 2 different personalities.
Exactly. Perfect. And it's this idea that's actually going to bring us to our it's this idea that brings us to our objective, which is to be able to identify and define forces. So first things first, take a look at the excerpts that I gave you of Romeo and Juliet. It looks like this.
I can't see that.
Looks like this.
Can I sit at your desk?
No.
Oh, we got annotated things?
I'm not going to have you annotate. I'm just going to have you look at what I have.
Thank you.
So, first things first, as we begin to look at this, we're all pretty familiar with the story of Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, I hate it.
Okay? Me too.
It's
So boring.
Now, I do want to point some things out, though. We begin the story, Romeo says, "Can I go forward when my heart is here? Turn back, thou earth, and find thy center out." You see that Romeo says, I cannot go forward. Why, Ishmael? Why can't I leave? Why can't I go somewhere?
Why?
Yeah, what's he say? That very first line. Can I go forward when my heart is here?
He climbs the wall and lives down with it.
Say it again?
He climbs the wall and lives down with them.
No, right here.
Oh, yeah. He says why?
Just this line, this first line right here. Can I go forward when my heart is here?
Turn back. No, how? Why?
Why can't he go forward? What is keeping him in place?
Juliet.
Her?
Her. It says, can I go forward when my heart is here? And what's keeping his heart here? Juliet. Okay? So immediately, Ashley, what do we know about Romeo and his view on love? Well, if we know he can't go someplace because his heart is with Juliet and Juliet's here, how does he feel about love?
Happy.
Oh,
I want only Ashley's voice. Waiting for an answer. If Romeo says he's in love and therefore can't leave. How does Romeo feel about love? It could be overdramatic, but we at least know that he feels strongly about love. He is all about love, right? So we continue, we come down here, and Benvolio and Mercutio come in. Benvolio says, Romeo, my cousin Romeo. And Mercutio says, he's wise, and on my lie hath stolen him to bed. Hath stolen him to bed. Jeremy, where has Romeo gone? Where it says Mercutio, and on my lie hath stolen him home to bed.
Took him home.
Yeah, he went home. He went to sleep. All right? But Benvolio says, oh, no. He ran away and leapt this orchard wall. He didn't go home and go to bed. He jumped this wall. Call good Mercutio. Call him. See what happens. So Mercutio says this. Nay, I'll conjure too. Not only will I call him, but I'll make him appear out of thin air. Romeo, humors, madman, passion, lover, appear thou in the likeness of a sigh. Sham, so when do we normally sigh?
I don't know what sigh means.
That's a sigh.
Oh.
When do we do that?
When you're tired.
When you're tired. Locke, when else do we do that?
You're bored.
One voice, please. And that's Locke. When is some time you might go, could be when you're tired. When else?
When you wake up.
I'm frustrated.
Frustrated.
When you wake up to school.
When you're waking up and you're kind of trying to get yourself awake. Irritated.
When you're disappointed.
Disappointed. Bored. Things like that, right? Take a look. Appear thou in the likeness of a sigh. He's telling Romeo, appear like a sigh would appear. Just kind of bleh. But then he calls him passion and lover. When we talk about passion and love, do we talk about it in the same way we would talk about a sigh?
Sometimes.
No.
Like, when you're on a date, and you're just like, so excited, you just can't help but to sigh. You know what
I think you are the only person on the earth who gets so excited that they sigh.
I do, I'll be like, oh my gosh.
So
No, she's like me when I like get really peed off with someone. I talk that loud.
She was like that.
Really, really bad.
well, let's go ahead and assume that a sigh is a negative thing. It's boredom, it's frustration, it's tiredness. Do we talk about love and sighing in the same vein?
No.
No. Mercutio is making fun of Romeo. Mercutio is making fun of Romeo. He's saying, you're so excited, but it all comes down to the same as a sigh. And then we get a bunch of nonsense in here. Speak out but one rhyme and I am satisfied. Cry but I me and pronounce but love and dove. Speak to my gossip Venus one fair word, one nickname for her purblind son and heir, young Adam Cupid. Now that reference we should understand. Eli, do you know what Cupid is? Cupid, C-U-P-I-D. It's right here.
No.
You don't know what that is? What is it, Jeremy?
Like the angel of love.
It's not an angel, but it's the god of love. And usually when we see a picture of Cupid, it's a cute little baby in a diaper with wings on his back, firing arrows. And the story goes, if you get hit by one of Cupid's arrows, you what?
You fall in love.
You fall in love. So Mercutio here is comparing Romeo to Cupid. So knowing that, Haley, what is Mercutio saying about Romeo's view of love?
I'm sorry, I just zoned out.
I know. That's why I asked you. By comparing Romeo to Cupid, what is Mercutio saying about Romeo's opinion about love?
Ooh.
It could be young love. What else?
That it could be silly love because Cupid's not a serious character, you know. He's just a little made-up guy.
Okay. It could be not serious, but it could be kind of funny or kind of joking.
It's blind.
It could be blind. All these things he's saying to Romeo, this is silly. This is juvenile. This is blind. Okay, he's making fun of him a little bit more. So just based on that, Ishmael, describe Romeo's opinion of love. Without even reading this today, knowing anything about the story of Romeo and Juliet, Romeo Bink believes what about love?
Love is a gift from God.
That it's, yeah, and he's so head over heels in love with Juliet that nothing else matters. Okay? It's that line where he calls Juliet the sun. Okay? He can't live without her. Mercutio Justice, what is his opinion about love?
Did you say my name?
I did.
What was the question?
How does Mercutio feel about love?
That it's a game.
That it's a game, that it's not serious. Are you guys willing to say that they are opposites?
Yeah.
Yes. It is this opposite that we talk about dramatic foil. Now, you have a paper that looks like this. It has a Venn diagram on the front. On the back of it, it says define dramatic foil. Go ahead and write the definition up there, and I'll actually demonstrate it a little bit more here in a second.
It's a long definition.
Go ahead and define dramatic foil.
What is that P word?
I'm going to talk about it right now. A dramatic foil is a character that by contrasting or showing differences with the protagonist or main character, it helps to accentuate or emphasize another character's opposite personality. In other words, a dramatic foil is the opposite of a character and emphasizes certain qualities.
That's a lot of big words in there.
I know.
All these words were.
And I'll demonstrate it here in 1 second for you once you get it written down.
What's up, Protag?
Main character.
Yeah, we use those copies.
So the idea of a dramatic foil is that by putting two opposite characters next to each other, it emphasizes certain qualities about those characters. So, who are you? Come here, Eli. This is a really stupid example of how foil works. Okay? I'm 5'7". How tall are you? Let's say 5'2". Okay? Let's say 5'2". Right? I don't think anybody in this room is going to argue that Eli is taller than me. Okay. Eli, how tall are you?
4'9".
5'2". How tall am I?
Still the same thing.
I'm still 5'7".
No.
I am 5'7". But look what I've done. I've made complete opposites. And so I'm still 5'7". Eli's still 5'2". But by putting us next to each other, I look even taller than I am, and he looks even shorter than he is. I mean, think about it. I have not changed my height. Eli hasn't changed his height, but we look like we have. Thank you. Okay? It's no different than in a story. Let's say that Carlos and Muhammad are in a story. And Carlos is a really good guy. Like, he's the best human being on the face of the earth. And Muhammad is just a really bad guy. He is the worst guy on the face of the earth. All right? Now, if I say Carlos is a good guy, we understand what that means. If I say Muhammad's a bad guy, we understand what that means. When I put Muhammad and Carlos next to each other, Muhammad is so bad that he makes Carlos look that much better. And Carlos is so good that he makes Muhammad look that much worse. When you put foils next to each other, it just emphasizes qualities. Okay? I didn't change height. I stayed at 5'7", but by jumping on the counter, I looked taller. By putting a bad person and a good person together, the good person looks that much better than they actually are. Have I lost anybody yet?
Yeah.
Have I really lost you?
Yeah, because it's hard. Like, I don't understand.
Okay. Let's say, how about this? I'm just going to use soccer as an example because it's what I know. All right. I put two people who are decent at soccer on the field. They can play a game of soccer, right? I put somebody who's decent at soccer and somebody who's really good at soccer. The guy who's really good is going to probably do better than the guy who's decent. But the guy who's decent is still going to do an okay job, right?
Yeah.
If I put somebody on the field who's really bad at soccer and really good, the really good guy is going to look that much more awesome because there's a really bad guy on the field. By putting somebody who's opposite on the field, in a book, in the play, whatever, it emphasizes certain qualities.
So what you're saying?
Does it make sense now?
Yeah.
Okay.
What you're saying is it don't make the person a good person.
So it makes you look better or worse.
Like
if
they'll
you
remain the
look
same.
better.
Like on the height, for instance.
The foil, when we talk about the foil, it's the actual opposite person. What the foil does is it emphasizes that certain quality. So if Muhammad was the good guy and I'm a really bad guy, I make him look that much nicer because I'm just so not nice. Cool? Okay. So to work on this, we are going to turn to fences. You have a paper that looks exactly like this, except the page numbers are wrong. So you're going to be using the page numbers that are on the board. All day today, the way that I've had people reading is there are 3 characters in this scene, and people have really just kind of gotten into picking characters and reading together. It's gone well today. I'm going to leave you guys a little bit of choice. Raise your hand if you either A, like the idea of getting into groups of 3 or 4 and picking parts and reading to each other, or B, raise your hand as well if you really just don't care how we read today.
I want to do A.
Okay, how many? Let's try this. Raise your hand if you like the idea of getting into small groups and reading to each other. Okay, keep your hands up. Put your hands up as well if you don't care how we read today. Okay, and that's what we're going to do. I will let you guys choose your groups of 3. If you want to kind of make a group of 4 here or there, that's okay as well. Keep the volume down. Read to each other. You have between now, listen guys, you have between now and let's say for the moment, the top of the hour, 2 o'clock, to read the pages and answer these questions. Cool? I'll be around if you need me.
Feel like
What about the 10?
I'm going to hand it out to you.